Hi, boys and girls. We are going to be continuing on with our read aloud here. And remember, we've been working hard this week on characters' perspectives. So, as we're reading this today, I really want us thinking through the perspectives we're seeing within this story. Now, this story is actually told from Keck's point of view. So, we're going to hear Keck telling his story where he'll say, "My aunt," if you see that right here, "my aunt does that," or "I feel this way." So, that means this is a first person narration told in Keck's perspective. So, we can be thinking through Keck's perspective and then compare that to some of the other characters within the story, and we can think through their perspective of the things going on as well. This chapter is called TV Machine. My aunt makes food on the cooking fire. We eat simply, with tastes and smells of my home, and we talk with the words and sounds I know, sweet in my mouth. So getting to have an experience of his meal from home, speaking his language from home, and that comfort. But the more home returns to me, the more I remember all I've lost. I feel a hole, the holes where my mother, my father, my brother should be. My uncle, my aunt's husband, and their other children too. Two girls, younger than Ganwar. Sometimes it seems to me a hole can be as real and solid as a boulder or a tree. Outside, snowflakes tap at the window like stubborn mosquitoes. I try out the word snow, then shiver and shake just like Dave. My aunt lets a smile go free. I have to go to work now, she says. What do you mean work? I want to know. Mama helps at a house for old people, Ganwar explains. His mouth is a line. It's not a good place. It's called a nursing home, says my aunt, and they pay me money so that I can buy things. It takes a lot of money to live here in America. But it's night, I say, and it's cold. My aunt touches my shoulder. You're a good boy, Keck. You are your mother's child. Mama will be glad to see you, I say. I hope she'll get here soon. My aunt looks at me with questions in her eyes. She glances at Ganwar. He looks away. Don't hope too hard, she says in a whispering voice, and then she puts on her coat and leaves. When she's gone, Ganwar and I watch the TV machine. I'd seen one at the airport on the flying boat, but this machine has many more stories, more colors, more happy people, and mad people. People are dancing and singing and shooting and kissing. So many people. They still cannot fill the holes in this room. The next chapter is called Night. The pillow, like a mound of grass, under my head is good comfort, and the blanket is warm as afternoon sun, but still I can't sleep. Ganwar lies without moving, but I know somehow he's not sleeping either. After a while, Ganwar sits up on his elbows. He's just a shadow to my eyes. What's that cloth you're holding? He asks. It's from the camp, I say. It's true. True enough. I don't want to say the whole truth. Are you glad you're here, Ganwar? I ask. He breathes in and out, in and out. This is a good land, he says. There's great freedom here. But even when you travel far, the ghosts don't stay behind. They follow you. You come here to make a new life. The old life is still haunting you. We don't say anything for a few minutes. Finally, Ganwar speaks. They're all gone, Keck. They're all dead. I want to hate Ganwar for his words, but I'm too weary for anger. Already there are so many people to hate. Too many. Not all, I finally whisper. Not Mama. He sighs. It isn't good to fool yourself. I've learned that much. Hoping isn't foolish, I say. If I can make it all the way here, then anything can happen. He shakes his head. Crazy boy, Ganwar says. Hoping doesn't make a thing true. Remember when you were no taller than my knee and you thought you could talk to the cattle? They listened, I say. They just didn't answer. How about when you believed you could fly? Remember how you jumped from the top of the acacia tree? I still have the scar on my elbow, I say. And anyway, the flying part was fun. Only the landing was troublesome. You can't make yourself a bird, Keck. Some things will never be. A man does not give up, I say. A man knows when he's defeated, Ganwar replies. I wipe a tear away with the soft cloth in my hand. I don't answer. I'm afraid what the answer might be. We get to see a lot there about Keck's perspective versus Ganwar's. I want you to think to yourself, how are they similar and how are they different? Because their perspectives do form those similarities and differences. Yeah, if you're noticing Keck seems a lot more hopeful than Ganwar, that's absolutely correct. And we could think about their perspectives on that, right? Ganwar has been here longer. So he's kind of experienced the hardships of trying to learn a new country longer than Keck has. Keck might still be a little more hopeful. Ganwar also knows the people from his past are dead. He fully believes that. And Ganwar still, or Keck is still holding on to the hope that those people could still be here, whereas Ganwar isn't. So those things, their age, their past experiences, how long they've been in America for, those affect their perspectives, right? And so we're going to see how that plays out as we keep going. And as far as Keck's more hopeful view versus Ganwar's a lot more pessimistic view of America and of what his life now is. This chapter is called Mama. I have my father's will, my brother's eyes, and my mother's light. She is like newborn sun, fresh with promise and just beginning moments before the day fills like a bucket with good and bad, sweat and longing. Even her laughter has sun in it. Always, when I think of her, I see a cloudless day blooming full. I feel warmth on my shoulders. I know hope's embrace. I am just a boy, like any boy. I make trouble. I'm lazy. I kick at the world when I'm mad. I don't know why I have been so lucky to be so loved. This is called Sleep Story, and if you see it's in italics, that tells us this is a story. It's not necessarily Keck talking to us anymore in this chapter. I am on the flying boat, and so is Dave, and Mama, and Father, and Lual. People from my village are there, and many cows, and a camel, and a gazelle. Airplane, Dave says. Try to say it, Keck. But when my mouth opens, the only thing that comes out are little white puffs, cloud after cloud. You must try harder, Lual says, and I give him my best scowl. He laughs, and then the round windows open, and guns are there, and hating words, and I am screaming, empty white clouds of fear, when at last it's quiet. The seats of the wall and my father and all the other men from my village are empty. They're gone, I tell my mamma. They're dead. And she takes my hand. When we step outside, it isn't sky we see, but endless, barren land, dotted with dead trees, mile after mile, day after day, tier after tier, we travel to a place of tents and women and children. Here in the camp we are safe, she says. The men with guns will not come. My feet are blistered, and her dress of blue and yellow is stained with blood, and all around us snow falls, and my eyes burn with the sight of it. That's Keck's dream he was just having, and it does dot us with kind of some hints, some clues that we're getting about Keck's past and about some parts that affect his future within that dream. If you know you've had dreams before where it's kind of pieces of your life mixing in with things that don't totally make sense, and that's kind of what that was there. Think about some of those clues you just learned about Keck. We will start part 2 tomorrow.